Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater, out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, two-run shot to right.
We welcome you to the Belmar Recreational Complex, right off of Creek Road and just near the intersection of 295 and 42. We bring you our fourth Tri-County League baseball game this season, and this time it's a direct battle for first place and first, I guess you could say first dibs in the North Division. This is the Roughriders, the back-to-back two-time Tri-County League champions in the 2023 and 2024 season, with a new manager at the helm, Noah Clementi's on the right side of your screen, facing off against CHBR third base. Both of these teams are dead even, 7-4-1 with 17 points. The Roughriders won their last game, CHBR lost their last game. But right now, it is a three-way race for first place in the North. The Grizzlies, who we saw on Monday and who we've seen twice this year at the Runnymede Babe Ruth Complex, they're only a half point behind. And in fact, they've tallied up two ties this season at 6-5-2. Angelo Marciano, or Bones Marciano as they like to call him, and Noah Clement shake hands at home plate with the Tri-State Elite umpires in town today as CHBR and the Roughriders look for a direct path to first in the Tri-County Baseball League. What's going to be interesting, this entire season has been so heavily affected by the rain. It's been so heavily affected by rainouts. We have been at one point or another scheduled for 4 games this week. This is only the second one that we're getting in, and we were, for what it's worth, we were supposed to do 10 regular season games. This is the second to last week of the regular season, and we're on game number 4. That's how badly rain has affected this season. There's been so many postponements, so many rainouts, not at anybody's fault, but it's just been so treacherous that it's been hard to get games in. We've seen sometimes where we've gone almost entire weeks with only getting a couple of games in per team. So we've got starting lineups, we've got pitcher introductions, and we've got first pitch on the way. Here from the Belmar Recreational Complex, I'm Dan Wilkins with Vincent Vogt on the buttons today as the blue and red face off against the black and orange in a battle for first place in the North Division. We'll be right back. We're back here as we're getting ready for first pitch on a sunny Thursday evening from Belmar Rec. Dane Sammartino, the Haddonfield grad and Indiana University of Pennsylvania product, is the starter and the right-hander for the Roughriders as he digs into the dirt here on the mound. This is his fourth appearance of the year. He's got 22 Ks in 19 innings, a 1.11 ERA, and a 0.26 whip. He's done pretty well for himself. He's got 5 runs, 3 earned, 2 unearned, and as we said, 22 walks all told, 5 walks on the campaign as well. He is joined by Alex Tronoski back behind the dish for the Roughriders in what is going to be a very muddy batter's box here in Belmar. It's going to be interesting for both batters and fielders to deal with it. As you can see, they're back behind home plate. CHBR is going to get ready to bat with Angelo Bones Marciano at the helm. Let's take a look at their starting lineup, presented to you by Harper Driving School. Nick Cizelka is our leadoff man in center field this evening. Jack Mastero and RJ Mastero. The Gloucester Catholic products are in tandem, 2 and 3 at first base and left field. Braden Davis at third. Damon Suriani, another GC product behind the dish. Nick Turnage at the DH spot. Josh Genove, the EH. Cole Dawson at short. Thomas Carroll in right, and John Rorick of Kingsway at second base. San Martino ready to go. First pitch on this Thursday evening. Fastball right down the plate, 0-1 to Cizelka. 81 degrees at first pitch, partly cloudy skies, 6:10 p.m. here at the Belmar Rec. Just outside that time. 1-1, looked like a little changeup that time from San Martino, who we've seen at plenty of levels, including at Haddonfield Memorial. That ball's hit out towards right field, straight away for Ryan Joseph, who cuts towards the line and makes the catch. First out of the ball game, that now brings up another lefty in Jack Mastero. Well, we knew that RJ was a part of the CHBR club, but being a recent graduate of Gloucester Catholic, who helped win their 22nd state championship, we saw them in the sectional final for South Jersey Non-Public B. A 5-0 win over Bishop Eustace back in early June. Swing and a miss. Waivers at a pitch low and out, and it's 0-1 to Mastero. Phenomenal multi-sport athlete at Gloucester Catholic. Was a football athlete of multiple positions for several years. Did not play his senior year in GC Rams football led by Casey Murphy. But the all-time leading basketball scorer at Gloucester Catholic as well, breaking a 60-plus-year-old record in the winter of this season. That one's high and away. Looks like we'll have a 2-1 count this time. But Jack and RJ haven't really hit back-to-back since the 2023 season, when RJ was a senior at Gloucester Catholic with Dennis Barth. That one's fouled back. RJ Mastero just finished up his sophomore season at Rowan College of South Jersey, my current college where I'm a rising sophomore. They won their 3rd straight NJCAA national championship in Division III. The 2-2 is a swing and a miss. He got him. Jack Mastero goes down on strikes, and now his older brother of 2 years will bat RJ Mastero. Committed to Monmouth. I think that was my reaction as well when I saw the batter's box this evening. But Cizelka flies out to right. And Jack Mastero goes down swinging. Here's the first pitch. That one's upstairs the letters. 0-1. I'm sorry, 1-0, excuse me. That was just enough for the mics to pick it up. But that's what we love about the summer, right? A little bit more free will. Strike called, 1-1 this time. Three straight national titles for RCSJ. That one is lined to third and caught. Speared by the third baseman down there in the hot corner, being Jack Murphy of Rutgers Camden, and the inning is over. San Martino makes quick work of CHBR. A strikeout, a line out, and a fly out down the right field corner. And the black and orange back-to-back reigning champions of the Tri-County League will get their first swings at it in the bottom of the first. We'll be right back. CHBR taking the field here on this Thursday afternoon. Their starter is the right-hander Mark Grubb, the Rowan product. This is his fourth appearance of the year. 9 innings, 10 hits, 5 earned runs. He's got 3 unearned to his name as well. 5 walks, 10 Ks. Has 1 home run allowed in his 9 innings this season. A 3.89 ERA for Bones Marciano, a 270 on base against, and a 1.67 whip. Let's flip everything back over to the Roughriders side for the back-to-back back-to-back Tri-County League champions. Although for South Jersey baseball leagues, they might as well be on top of the world because ain't nothing like a good Tri-County summer. Let's take a look at their starting lineup presented by Harper Driving School. Jake Watson of Rutgers Camden leads us off in center field. Shea McKenna of McDaniel is the EH batting second. Ian Murphy at first base. Ryan Joseph in right. Evan Carbone at DH. Man, I really feel like I'm calling a Ryan Kulik game this afternoon. Steven Schaefer, the Norfolk State transfer over to Rutgers Camden, is in left. Jack Murphy is at third. Vincent Panvini at short. Alex Trinowski is the catcher, and batting 10th, Danny Vasquez, Rutgers Camden graduate. In the back of the box, Grubb, first pitch to Watson, is outside. Of course, we didn't get to cover too much Rutgers Camden this year, only 3 games. A doubleheader in late February versus Immaculata, and then a standalone NJAC game versus Stockton in mid-April. Outside, Rutgers Camden made the D3 National Tournament, a 64-team field, just like they do it in Division I and Division II. I mean, people talk about March Madness, but baseball might as well be the same thing because that's the exact same format that the NCAA uses for men's basketball national tournaments and for baseball national tournaments, except for baseball, in the round of 64, it's the regional round, and then it goes to super regionals, and the top 8 teams advance to Omaha at Charles Schwab Field. Upstairs, and Watson stumbles out of the box, and he will get a unusual walk there, as it looked like he was going back to the dugout, but Shea McKenna is the batter. 6 Rutgers Camden products in the order this evening for the Roughriders. Shane Daly was the leadoff batter on Monday when we covered the Roughriders in their unusual 6-3 loss to the South Jersey Grizzlies. Grubb ready to go. A little bit of a leg kick that time. And the pitch. Breaking ball misses up and in at the letters. Yeah, that game was maybe one of the weirdest baseball games I'd ever covered in the 8 or 9 years that I've been doing broadcasting. The rule is that, you know, when a game is called to the darkness, it has to be reverted back to the last full inning. And in this situation, the Roughriders had caught an unbelievable spark in Runnymede. As this one's popped up, that'll go out of play towards the Purple Eagles Pee Wee football field. Going to be 1-1 this time. But they started I believe it was the 6th inning, and the game was official. Grizzlies were up 6-3. Well, the Roughriders just kept hitting. They got 7 runners on, and at the end of it, they scored 6 runs. Here goes the runner, Watson. That's going to be a hit and run in the right field. That will drop. It'll get down in front of the right fielder who bobbles it. Now Watson's on his horse. He gets the stop sign at third. It will be a base hit who advances the runner to third, Watson. A single for Shea McKenna. And the batter is now Ian Murphy of Lackawanna in the 3 slot. Well, there's a reason why Jacob Watson, as a sophomore, broke the all-time stolen base record at Rutgers Camden. There is an absolute reason why, because of plays like that. I think it was probably a design play right there. Hit it through the right side when Watson was running, because they've done that so many times at Rutgers Camden. Except McKenna is a McDaniel product, not donning the red and white. Ian Murphy batting here in the 3 slot for the Roughriders. They've got runners on the corners and nobody out. Back-to-back base runners, a walk and a single off of Grubb so far. Right-hander delivers. Fastball, outer half of the plate, got that one to go. Of course, Lackawanna made headlines recently when they announced that they would be jumping up to the PSAC, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, which is NCAA Division II. They have a lot of great programs in there. Millersville being one of them, Westchester University, a whole bunch in the Philadelphia metro area and out towards Pittsburgh as well. But it would make sense if they're jumping up from an NCAA Division III to an NCAA Division II, but Lackawanna was a JUCO D2. I mean, that is a line drive to center field. Murphy, that one's up. It will stay in the ballpark. It's a pitcher-friendly ballpark, and Watson will take his trot home. Roughriders lead 1-0. Murphy got a whole load of that ball, and maybe in some other ballparks it would have left, but here in Belmar Rec, he'll settle for a sacrifice fly, and now Ryan Joseph is the batter. But yeah, just circling back on that point, I mean, transitioning from a 2-year university to a 4-year college is an incredible jump to make. I mean, Lackawanna was one of the best in JUCOs around the area. As now the runner goes, here comes the throw down to second. It is not in time. Looked like he got under the tag that time, and I don't think the throw beat him. But Joseph now working with a runner in scoring position and maybe more, with one away here in the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss. Joseph off the end of the bat. That one bloops towards center field. Rorick is there. Makes the catch over the shoulder on the run. And now we've got 2 away for Evan Carbone. That's going to be back-to-back, second of 3 to hit for Rutgers Camden here in the order. Steven Schaefer will be next. Carbone has been the longtime catcher under Ryan Kulik's Rutgers Camden Scarlet Raptors. We've seen him at basically every level. We've seen him in the Summer League. We've seen him in Tri-County. There's a couple of players that we've seen at, well, San Martino's one of them. We've seen him at high school and in Tri-County and in college as well, I believe. That one's low. Missed outside that time. Got a count of 1-1 to Carbone. Runner on second, 2 down, bottom of the first. Roughriders up 1-0 here at the Belmar Recreational Complex. That's a slow dribbler, a little bit faster than you think, but the throw to first is in time. Mastero lands on the first base bag, and the inning is over. The Roughriders, they get the bat on the ball, and they barrel it up well, but 1 run comes in on a sacrifice fly. We're through 1 here in Belmar. It's 1-0 Roughriders.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Welcome back here in Belmar. Pretty clear which way the wind is blowing with that American flag. It's a massive American flag. I believe they put that in a couple of years ago. It's like one of those massive American flags that they have at Camping World, right off of 295, like in the Swedesboro area. They try to sell you RV equipment that way. It's outside, you know, with America. We are just past the 4th of July weekend after all. popped up. This one's over towards first base. Ian Murphy is there, stretching out to his left. And Davis is retired for the first out. Now it'll be Damon Suriani. Suriani, another Gloucester Catholic product. We've worked with the Suriani family in some capacity with the Mid-Atlantic Warriors, which ironically enough don the same colors as CHBR third base, a very light and bright blue with that bright red. That one's down. I mean, the Roughriders have had the black and orange colors for at least 20, 30 years at this point. That ball's hit well out to left center field. This one is going up, going back, and it is going to get down. It'll drop in the grass in left center. That'll be the first hit for CHBR, and standing up with the double is Damon Suriani, who laces one out to left center field and sets up the stage for Nick Turnage, who's going to look to turn things around and tie up the game in the top of the second. Turnage, another Haddonfield grad who is currently at Immaculata in his 10th game this year. 10 hits, 10 RBIs, 4 doubles, 6 walks, a .385 average, and a 1.023 OPS. Pitcher nods. San Martino's first pitch is low, 1-0. Sun popped out just before first pitch. Was a relatively cloudy day. It looked like it was going to be another washout like the last 3 days, but Mother Nature was finally on baseball's side tonight. A swing and a miss. One ball, one strike. Josh Genove, the DH out of Towson, the Division I in Maryland, will be next. Runner on second for CHBR and Suriani. That one skips away, goes right in front of the catcher. It landed right at the batter's feet, and Turnage didn't really have to move there. It was just right in front of him. The good thing is if you look at how muddy the batter's boxes are, you're probably not going to get a lot of balls that will skip away from you. A lot of them are just going to die in their tracks, almost like quicksand back there. Here's the 2-1 from San Martino. Gets on top of it, grounds it to short. Here comes a play, throw across the diamond to Murphy, is in time. It does successfully advance the runner over. Now here is Genove. So pop up to first, a double out to the left center field gap, and then a 6-3 ground out. San Martino ready to go. Runner 90 feet away. Here's the first pitch. Catcher set up well there and got a strike. Again, Genove out of Towson University, just above Baltimore. I've actually been on the campus a few times. There's a ground ball, and this is going to tie the game. It trickles into center field. Suriani's runner scores, and Josh Genove with an RBI single. It certainly wasn't the most flattering of hits, but it's a hit nonetheless. And Josh Genove has tied up the game with a 1-1 base hit. It's a good piece of hitting, especially in a place like this that's very pitcher-friendly. A team that relies on the fundamentals will succeed, or at least will have a little bit of an edge. First pitch grounded out towards third. This one's picked up. The throw crosses in time. Roughriders were telling him to throw to third, but that's the third out of the inning. If you can't count to 3, that might be a problem. Well, I'll tell you this, both teams can count to 1. That's how many runs they have after an inning and a half here in Belmar. 1-1 after 1.5.
So after the holding call to be 1st and 20, as now rolling out to the right side, he's got a little bit of room to run on a QB rush. He's going to get a first down. There's no flags, and how about this for 61 yards? Anthony Gaetano with a QB rush that works to perfection. He hugs the sideline, and Anthony Gaetano gets the scoring started for the Red Hawks at 7-6. Jack Mastero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mastero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mastero playing hero.
Bottom of the second inning here from Belmar. There's a better look at what we're working with tonight, and barely been any left-handers to step in the box, but, well, there were the first two for CHBR, Zelka and Jack Mastero, but Steve Schaefer, the batter, lines it. First pitch center field. That will drop for a base hit, much to the delight of his vocal teammate, Danny Vasquez. They're trying to get that ball back. I would imagine it's Schaefer's first hit. And indeed it is. He went 0 for 3 in his first game with the Roughriders, so he breaks it. I mean, with how many foul balls go into the football fields here and basically get lost forever, there's no saving baseballs. Even at D1 college games, they don't let the, even like at minor league professional games, they let you keep them. But even at like the cream of the crop Division I, they make you return foul balls to the dugout. I can't blame them. Baseballs are expensive. Here comes the throw down to second, gets kind of trapped a little bit there, bounced it a couple times to second, and Schaefer steals with Jack Murphy, his Rutgers Camden teammate, at the plate. Murphy had a walk-off single against Alvernia on senior night for Rutgers Camden in 2024, and then came back for a graduate season. Bones Marciano came out. The base umpire is also there. I'm not sure. He's signaling towards the dugout. They're getting somebody ready. See what's going on here with Mark Grubb. Jack Mastero dropped his glove, and he's coming in as well. Mark Grubb's coming out of the game, it looks like. I'm not sure if he hurt something, but Angelo Marciano, or Bones Marciano, is coming off the field with him. So we're going to see what the situation is, but a gentleman, number 3, is coming out of the dugout, and we are going to have a mid-at-bat pitching change. Whoa! That one airmailed us a little bit there, but we will have a pitching change. We'll try to get an update on the situation, see what's going on, but bottom of the second inning, Schaefer on second base, and Mark Grubb has been removed from the game. Frankie Ebling is the new pitcher for CHBR. Gwetted Mercy product, the right-hander with a 7 flat ERA. His first appearance this year went 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks, 294 on base average, and a 2 whip. He comes in for Mark Grubb, who has reportedly, or at least in the words of Bones Marciano, has been removed from the game with a bicep injury. So, again, we're not sure of the extent of it, but the thing about a Tri-County game, and this is nobody's fault, but when you watch a high school game, there's athletic trainers everywhere. College games, athletic trainers everywhere. Here, you kind of got to figure it out yourself. But, again, Jack Murphy is the batter. Steven Schaefer is on second, and with the pitching change, we have a 1-1 count to Murphy. And the first pitch from Ebling is inside. So 2-1 now. So Schaefer got his first hit of the season back up the middle. And then he stole second, which was the last pitch that grubbed through before the necessary change. Now Ebling was throwing just a little bit higher in the zone during his warm-up pitches. So we'll see if that washes over. See if he can continue to find a strike zone. He fouls that one back. 3-2. Of course, Gwinnett Mercy and Rutgers Camden, pretty often non-conference opponents in the NCAA Division III. There's a swing and a miss. So Ebling comes back, and he strikes out Jack Murphy for the first out. This will now bring up Vincent Panvini. He homered on Monday in the 6-3 loss. So like we were saying on Monday, it was a 6-3 game. Roughriders just kept getting the bats going. They scored 6 runs. They were up 9-6, but then they couldn't complete the inning. And now Schaefer's running. Here comes the throw, not going to get a throw down, and Schaefer steals third without issue. 2 easy stolen bases, and now the Roughriders are 90 feet away from taking the lead for a 2-1 ball game for the shortstop Panvini. Ebling ready to go. He delivers outside. Got that fastball to trail a little bit too much that time. I think he was going for the outer half right around waist high, but again, sometimes when you're just getting started out there, it can zip a little bit more than you want to. That's fouled back. Got a 3-1 count here. Ebling to Panvini. Late that time, fouls it off. Panvini out of Rollins College. 8 games this year, 125 hitter, 2 for 16. 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. This is going to give the Roughriders the lead with a slow roller. Throw to first is in time. It's a 6-3 ground out to score the run. And it's now 2-1 Roughriders as Tronoski, the catcher, will be the batter. And that run doesn't score if Schaefer doesn't, boldly steal second or third. I'm not saying that he's not good at stealing bases, but it's not something that I saw him do too much of at Rutgers Camden. And again, Schaefer, he was an original Division I product out of Burlington City. He was the first player in 20 years to reach the 100 hit milestone with the Blue Devils in Burlington City history. And then he committed to Division I Norfolk State, the Division I HBCU in Virginia. Ground ball third base side. This could end the inning. This one's an easy hop. Throw to first is in time. Side retired. Roughriders get a run back with a ground out to short, scoring Steven Schaefer. We're through 2 in Belmar. Roughriders 2, CHBR 1.
Two minutes remaining. 4 fouls on St. Joe's. 1 more and it's a bonus, which would greatly help Gloucester Catholic. The moving green guard! It's a 1-point game just like that! This place is going nuts! And now a drive to the basket by Spross. He lays it up and lays it in. St. Joe's has 2 timeouts remaining. Gloucester Catholic still has 3. Here we go. Mastero pulls up. And he goes for 3. 6 points. Jack Mastero has tied the game with 90 seconds remaining. How will the Wildcats respond with a miss of... Jack Mastero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mastero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mastero playing hero. An unbelievable.
Through 2 here in Belmar. It's 2-1 Roughriders. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book your appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. I'm sure a lot of these players, some of these players have wives and children. I don't think they need to worry about driver's licenses, but it's a little bit more topical for the high school games. With that said, if you'd like to become a sponsor of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, you can send us an email with an advertising inquiry at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. We'll send you a flyer with information on how to get involved in South Jersey's fastest growing independent broadcast organization with over 100,000 viewers annually at an affordable rate that gives the business creative direction and makes it affordable and worthwhile for the business owner. San Martino delivers to the left-hander. This one's a rollover out to first. Murphy doesn't get it. Vasquez doesn't get it. And a twofer right there as Murphy whiffed on it and Vasquez bobbled it. And Thomas Carroll is going to have himself a base reached on an E4 here. Now here's John Rorick. Rorick, the second baseman today, made a nice catch earlier in the ball game to help save a run. San Martino's first pitch gets on top of it, foul. Rorick out of DeSales University. You wonder if they have a good marketing school. DeSales University. Vince, you don't know me. I'm just saying, you've worked with me for 2 years. You should have known where I was going with that. Over in Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, in a town called Center Valley, right near Allentown and Bethlehem. You're sad that you didn't get the joke, or there's a ground ball third base side. Nice scoop out at third by Jack Murphy, and he turns the double play around the horn. 5-4-3, and John Rorick turns it around to the top of the order, and not the way that CHBR wanted. It's a 5-4-3 double play here in the top of the third. So he turns the double play that time, and now we've got Cizelka at the dish. Flew out down the right field line his first time. He's 0 for 1 today. For the first rotation in the order, 2 hits for CHBR, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. Roughriders, 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error in the field. There's a ground ball third base side. Again, another good play by Jack Murphy on the hot corner. He's had a lot of them tonight, and the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the third. It is a nice, clean inning. It started off with an error, but then Rorick turned it into a double play, and Sazelka grounds out across the diamond to retire the side. 2-1 Roughriders going to the bottom of the third. Here at the Belmont Recreational Complex, got a 350-foot distance down the left and right field lines. It's a pitcher-friendly ballpark. We have seen one home run leave the yard here back in 2023. We did American Legion districts. It was Lawrence, New Jersey, and Mercer County. I can't remember the player, but I remember it went right over our heads and into a backyard behind us. I don't know if I think it's about maybe 380, 390 to center, but they've done a lot of work on this field in the last couple of years. I know we were kind of complaining a little bit about the batter's box, but it was a lot worse. I think maybe 3 or more years ago, this field would have been unplayable with the conditions we had last night and the night before that. Vasquez drills one out to right, but he flies out to Carroll. One away. Turn the lineup card back over to Jacob Watson. 2-1 Roughriders, bottom of the third. So 10 batters for both sides tonight with an extra hitter in the order, along with a DH. Neither pitcher batting. We do see that sometimes. Cherry Hill Pittman does it with Chris Rollins. Roughriders did it on Monday with Zach Welcher in his first start of the year. 0-1 to Watson. Outside. Watson, a graduate of Delsea Regional in Franklinville. And again, he set the all-time stolen base record for Rutgers Camden as a sophomore. Now, he had I believe, a wrist injury that hampered his production and his playing time in his junior year. But he'll be entering his senior campaign with Ryan Kulik in 2026, joining a fairly large recruitment class out of South Jersey, including three from my alma mater, Audubon. Nick Caladros, Gabe McCracken, and Trent Bannell, all who made the South Jersey Group 1 sectional final. This one's going to tip off the glove. Rorick with a wild throw. It goes down the line. It's going to go out of play, and they will send the runner to second. So now Noah Clement will come out and take his equipment from him, but an unusual play there. Skipped off of the glove of the third baseman, then skipped out to the shortstop. Shortstop spiked the throw. Watson would have been safe anyway. The smart move there is to hang on to the ball because, I mean, it's not like you're dealing with some slowpoke in the box. Watson is quick. He was going to get there either way. You just hold on to it. But, again, your forward thinking is telling you that you have to get that out at first base. Well, now there's insult to injury because instead of having that runner at first, you've got a speed demon at second base. So that's going to be scored as an E6. That could be scored a multitude of ways in our book. Ground out to third. Watson's going to go back. Oh, no. What in the world? I thought Watson would have gone to third, but on the play, he stays put. So that is going to be a 5-3 ground out, but an unusual one at that. Actually, technically, that could be scored a double error. Not that play, the one with Jacob Watson reaching base, because you could score a fielding error on the third baseman, being, I believe, Braden Davis. Yeah, that would be Braden Davis, the third baseman. And then you tack on a throwing error for Cole Dawson. First pitch fouled back. Heading towards the youth camp out there for the Belmar Purple Eagles. What do they call it back in the 60s? The one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple eagle. I tried to spin that as best as I could. This one spun out towards center field. Going back to the warning track. It's over his head. Bounces off of center field. Scoring is Watson. Trucking into second base is Ian Murphy. He's got 2 RBIs tonight. And the Roughriders lead it 3-1 with a crack to center field. So a sacrifice fly and then a laser double to center field. And with one away in the bottom of the third, Roughriders give themselves a bit of an extra cushion with a 2-run lead. Ryan Joseph, first pitch is a strike, right over the middle, 0-1. Fouled back. Oh, that went through the fence. That is shocking. Went through the fence that time. 0-2 now. That one skips off of the pole. You heard the clink back there. It lands right in front of Suriani. Poked out towards second. Rorick is there. Throw to first is in time. And the inning is over. We'll go to the fourth here in Belmar. It's 3-1.
Doubleheader reached first on an error in the first at-bat of Game 2. This one's lined into center field. Slider going over. He dives. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Ryan Slider makes the catch. Not on a slide, but instead on a dive. 2 away.
Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball to center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Rat.
Sammartino fires off his final warm-up pitch, and in the top of the fourth, it's time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, what are the only 2 Major League Baseball stadiums to have a sponsor of a food or beverage corporation? Now, Vince will reveal the answer in the bottom of the fourth, but 2 of these answers are correct. A, the Tampa Bay Rays, B, the Cincinnati Reds, C, the Texas Rangers, or D, the Colorado Rockies. Again, 2 of those answers are correct, and we will reveal the answer in the bottom of the fourth inning. Jack Mastero grounds it on the first pitch over the middle. Vasquez ranging, 1 hop, can't get it. Murphy with a valiant effort, but Mastero will reach. That will be a base hit, in our book at least, and I think it should be. I mean, that was a very, very over-the-arc play, kind of above and beyond there by Vasquez. He could have just let that one go into center field with the same effect. But, listen, he stopped the ball, attempted to make the throw down, and Jack Mostero gets his first knock of the afternoon, third hit of the afternoon/evening for CHBR. Strike called. Change up that time by Sammartino to RJ Mostero. That one skips away. Looked like off of the leg pad of Trinovsky that time. Gets Mostero down to second base. Mostero hasn't had too much experience in the Tri-County League this season, but he is 5 for 8 with an RBI, .625 hitter this year, which pretty much reflects the fact that against some of the nation's best JUCO pitching, that he was a .500 hitter during his sophomore season. Got a 1-2 count here. His brother Jack is on second. I mean, there are so many names in the Mostero family that you can write home about. He's got a younger brother, Brody Mostero, who is a rising sophomore at Gloucester Catholic and also plays baseball for the Rams, because what else would he do, But as we said, Jack is a phenomenal athlete. RJ was also a phenomenal athlete at Gloucester Catholic. Spent 2 years at RCSJ, tore up the league basically with his fantastic numbers. And again is now headed up to North Jersey to play for Monmouth and the Hawks. Chased it one low, got a piece of it by a hair. Looked like it clipped the home plate umpire there. We saw a similar situation on Monday. The final pitch of that controversial Roughriders Grizzlies game ended with the home plate umpire getting hit by a pitch, and then once the head coaches came out, they said, we're going to call it due to darkness. That hit he doesn't know where it is. It's to his right. This time, though, Sammartino will grab it. Mostero, Jack now is at third. So 2 wild pitches. And Mostero, keep having to differentiate between the two now, but Jack Mostero now at third. His older brother, RJ, at the plate with a full count. Infield inching in a little bit as the third base crew will look to get within 1 here on this Thursday evening. Sammartino ready. Exhales in the payoff. Fastball above the letters, right around the shoulder blades. And RJ Mostero picks up a free pass here in the top of the 4th. This broadcast is brought to you by DAWG Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. For more information on future events and ticketing, visit dawgprowrestling.com. Cleanup man Braden Davis at the dish now. He could make up some lost ground with 2 runners on. CHBR down by 2, 3-1 in the top of the 4th. There's a strike called outside corner. I mean, for what it's worth, considering that you can't see the lines in the batter's box, strike zone has been very consistent tonight. Here's the 0-1. That one's in the dirt. That one's going to skip away, takes a turn, lands to his left. And now we dive a little deeper with both runners in scoring position now. Runners on second and third for CHBR. That football camp on the right is reminding us that we're just about a month and a half away from DWB football season getting underway. We open with Cherry Hill West at Haddon Heights on Thursday, August 28th at 11 a.m., and we've got 5 games in the opening weekend. That one's fouled back by Davis, 1 and 2. The 5 games we have in Week 0, again, Cherry Hill West at Haddon Heights, 11 a.m. on Thursday. The Thursday night game will be Cumberland at Clearview, 6 p.m. at Clearview Regional. We start off Friday with a matchup in Camden County between Clayton and Collingswood, a rematch from last year in Week 0 that ended in a thrilling finish. This time it's at Collingswood, 11 a.m. start. And then Friday night, we travel down to Atlantic County, Absegami at Egg Harbor Township, 7 p.m. on Friday, August 29th. Then our final game of the weekend, 11 a.m., check that, 12 noon on Saturday, August 30th. They're going to check down at second. They say no. Close call that time. But like we were saying, the final game of the weekend will be Saturday, August 30th at noon down in Salem County between the Paulsboro Red Raiders and the Penns Grove Red Devils. 2-2 is the count. San Martino looks over. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. It goes through the legs of the backstop, though. He's got to get it down the first. That throw is not in time. The bases are loaded, and on a dropped third strike, we're going to see their head coach, Noah Clement, come out. The first-year head coach / manager for the Roughriders. He took over for Thomas Gasse, who was the head coach during the first 2 championships that the Roughriders won post-COVID, 2023 and 2024. He then left the position and left the league altogether to take a bullpen catcher position for the Reading Fightin' Phils, the AA affiliate of the Phillies. I mean, now they're meeting with San Martino, and again, in a game where this game will, and depending on the trajectory of the Grizzlies, could be the de facto division championship. Roughriders played this team earlier in the year and won 7-5. You can see Damon Suriani and the home plate umpire having a chuckle about the batter's box. Look at the right-handed batter's box. I don't know if I've ever seen a right-handed batter's box like that in my 8 years of broadcasting. Again, it's not anybody's fault. It's just, it is, you've got a crater in there. Every batter is about an inch shorter. Suriani gets jammed, fouls it off. 0-1. So bases loaded. And not to mention, nobody out in the inning. That one's lined into right field. A base hit gets past Vasquez. Joseph's got to throw home. 1 run comes in, and not everybody was on their horse on the bases. We instead move station to station. No outs, RBI single Suriani, and they'll have the courtesy runner for Suriani, the catcher. Number 8 will go out and run for him. So Suriani now 2 for 2. An RBI single. We've had a single by Mestero, a walk by RJ Mestero, dropped third strike by Davis, and an RBI single by Suriani. And now everybody is 90 feet closer to home than they were before. And CHBR is within 1 run of tying this game. San Martino misses up and into Turnage. San Martino again misses high. 3-0 is the count. Well, one of the most deflating ways to score a run if you're the one giving up the runs is a bases loaded walk. Sometimes even when you're in front, it can derail your entire psyche. He does get the call that time, 3-1. Turnage at bat, 3-1 count, bases loaded. Josh Genove of Towson in the on-deck circle. San Martino, 3-1, grounds it over the middle. He tried to barehand it, but it's going to go into center field. R.J. Mestero scores, and again, everybody stops at station to station. Runners out at second. Sirianni's pinch runner gets caught down. Think he just put a little too much mustard on it and ends up biting off more than he could chew. So he is out. That's the first out of the inning, but it does tie the game. And we now have runners on the corners now for Genove. So Turnage, that will be scored as an RBI single, obviously. And then it will be an 8-6 putout to retire Sirianni's pinch runner. Strike called to Genove. So San Martino still working. They've got a right-hander warming up. Umpire called a balk. Run will score. Everybody moves up one base. I didn't exactly catch it, but considering there's not a, I mean, Clement isn't arguing it, so I think that he's conceded it, but so that moves them up to second. That scores a run. Haven't seen a balk scoring a run in a long time, but CHBR has now taken a 4-3 lead. Could be a high-scoring affair tonight. There's a ground ball, third base side. Picked up by Jack Murphy. Looks back the runner at second, and the throw to first is in time. 2 down as Genove is retired across the diamond, bringing up Cole Dawson, the shortstop. I mean, these are two teams that we are very, very familiar with our DWB experience over our 3 years of covering this organization in this league. For crying out loud, the finals have been the exact same for back-to-back years. Cherry Hill Pittman versus the Roughriders. Almost a home series for Cherry Hill Pittman, but the Roughriders prevailed in both series. Fouled back by Dawson. Yeah, really excited about the football season we have coming up this year as I hear those whistles down the right field line. 31 games for DWB this year over 8 weeks, including 2 Thanksgiving games for the first time since 2023. Outside corner called strike 3. You saw the umpire lean into that one with an emphatic strike 3 punch out. Cherry Hill third base has erased the deficit. They score 3 as everybody moves station to station, and a rough inning for the Roughriders. CHBR leads at 4-3. Evan Carbone is the leadoff batter in the bottom of the 4th. It's time for DWB Trivia Time to reveal the answer. Today's question is, what are the only 2 Major League Baseball stadiums to have a food or beverage corporate sponsor? A, the Tampa Bay Rays, B, the Cincinnati Reds, C, the Texas Rangers, and D, the Colorado Rockies. Vince, 2 of those 4 answers are correct. Which ones are they? No, you have 1 of 2. So he guessed, if you didn't hear it, Reds and the Rangers. Oh, did you say Reds and the Rangers? Yeah. Then you're 0 for 2. It's the Rays and the Rockies. So Cincinnati is Great American Ballpark, Great American Insurance, of course. The Rangers are Globe Life Field, which is also insurance. The Tampa Bay Rays are Tropicana Field, if you're familiar with Tropicana orange juice. And then D is Colorado Rockies Coors Field. Now, there is a little bit of a stipulation there because there is Wrigley Field in Chicago, and there's Busch Stadium in St. Louis, which I recently was attending a couple weeks ago. The thing is, though, is that even though Wrigley Field is named after William Wrigley, who owned... Oh, that hit... Wow. That foul ball, I think, hit the catcher in the mitt, and then the ball came back and hit him in the back. He's getting used like a whack-a-mole out there. Carbone, the leadoff man, will be followed by Steven Schaefer. But Wrigley Field, again, named after William Wrigley in 1911 when the stadium opened. It is named after the owner of Wrigley Chewing Gum. However, it is not sponsored by Wrigley Chewing Gum. They're the people who make Juicy Fruit, you know, How It Feels to Chew 5 Gum, Big Red, Double Mint. I don't know what else you would know, but Juicy Fruit is something everybody knows. That's under the Wrigley Chewing Gum brand. Carbone fouls it back. And then for Busch Stadium, I recently learned this when I went to St. Louis. It is named after the founder of Anheuser-Busch Beer. However, again, it is not a corporate sponsor. Instead, it is a family name. Right back to Ebling. Carbone will tap out, and that will be a long at-bat that ends with a ground out back to the pitcher. One away for Schaefer. So the headquarters and main factories for Anheuser-Busch Beer are in St. Louis. In fact, they're only within walking distance of the ballpark. The factories are only about 8 or 9 blocks from the new Busch Stadium, which was built in was finished and opened in 2006, the year that the Cardinals won the World Series for the first time since 1982. Pitch to Schaefer. He singled and then scored in his first at-bat. Got an 0-2 count this time, with one away in the bottom of the 4th inning. Now, of course, there was one stadium that would have been on that list until last year, Minute Maid Park in Houston. Again, I think of orange juice. I know Minute Maid makes other things, but when I think of Minute Maid, I think of orange juice. Just like I think of Tropicana when I think of orange juice, those fresh Florida oranges. One-two to Schaefer. Fouled back again. Again, that apparatus is turning out to be pretty dangerous for everybody behind home plate. But the Astros changed their naming rights to the stadium to Daikin Park, D-A-I-K-I-N, which is a Japanese company that manufactures air conditioners and other HVAC units. Bulleted to center field. Out to right center, and it will drop for a base hit. Schaefer's 2 for 2. So Steven Schaefer, again the Rutgers Camden product and transfer from Norfolk State, has himself his second base hit of the night here in the bottom of the 4th as he's the tying run aboard. It's interesting lights haven't turned on yet. I mean, there are some shadows going over home plate. Sunset probably won't be until like 8:30. We might even get the, knock on wood, might even get the game in before they need to turn the lights on. That one's fouled back. But it was kind of odd because this is our 4th Tri-County game. The only other Tri-County games we had completed. We had been to some, we had prepared for some, and then they got canceled or postponed. But the only 3 games that we did were at the 2 Tri-County venues without lights. Popped up to third, Davis is there, and he makes the catch. 2 away. So Carbone with a 1-3 put out. Schaefer with a single. Murphy pops up to the third baseman, and we've got 2 away for Vincent Panvini, pardon me. Ebling ready, taking a peek over towards first. Schaefer has stolen 2 bases today. They do throw back. He's standing up. It's close. Didn't dive back. The jersey's already dirty from his 2 stolen bases he's had tonight. He scored a run in the bottom of the 2nd inning. gave the Roughriders a 2-1 lead. They were up 3-1. Now a ground ball over to the first base side. Mistero dives, flips to Ebling. He got him. Jack Mistero with an incredibly athletic play. That's what happens when you have a roster spot for an 18-year-old high school graduate, but the side is retired. Schaefer with a single, but nothing more. We're through 4 in Belmar. It's the Roughriders 3 and CHBR 4. Here at the Belmar Recreation Center, I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Vincent Vogt on the production this evening. It's been a busy week for Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, and our second Tri-County game of the week. We're supposed to have 3 games this week, and there is a new pitcher for the Roughriders, but he does not have a jersey. I didn't even notice that. I mean, he's got one of those compression shirts on. Jack Wolfson is the mystery man on the hill. Appreciate it. Well, good to know. A Highland Regional right-hander. Yeah, we just didn't see a jersey number. Popped up left field side. Hugging the corner, hugging the foul grounds. Schaefer almost ran over a couple of gentlemen in the lawn chairs. But luckily no damage that time for Carroll or for Schaefer. And it's 1-2. Carroll, Rorick, and Cizelka 9-10 and 1 for CHBR. Carroll of Newman University in Aston, Pennsylvania. 308 hitter this year for Bones and the entire crew. 8 for 26, 5 RBI, 2 doubles, 5 stolen bases, and an 823 OPS. Rorick, the hitter on deck, hitting with even higher numbers, 440 average and a 1.020 OPS. So again, right-hander Jack Wolfson. Highland Regional, 1 inning in 1 appearance, 1 run unearned, 1 walk and 1 strikeout with a whip of 1. Picks up his second strikeout of the Tri-County season as he retires Thomas Carroll to lead off the top of the 5th. This broadcast is brought to you by Rowan College of South Jersey at Gloucester Campus. Roadrunners succeeding in the classroom and succeeding on the field. One of New Jersey's premier athletic programs across all sports, competing in NJCAA Region 19 Division III action. Back-to-back, in fact, 3 national championships in a row for baseball, and national championship appearances in women's golf, men's tennis, women's basketball, and women's soccer. To become a prospective athlete of the Roadrunners, visit rcroadrunners.com and follow them on social media at RC Roadrunners on all platforms. Join me in the Roadrunners in the 2025 to 2026 school year with an incredible experience right in Gloucester County. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rorick. He grounded around the horn into a double play his last time. Breaking ball up high by Wolfson. I think the only other time I saw a situation like this with a pitcher without a jersey number, first of all, this one's popped up. Tronosky singles at his, whoa, that one was trouble for Joseph. It's trouble for everybody out there. Joseph crashed into the fence. But good communication there by the backstop to let his outfielders and his first baseman know that there was room. However, none of them came up with it. Joseph looked like, from our angle, that he was the closest guy around. Wolfson committed to Camden County under the leadership of John Scanzano. So Vince, you might be seeing him next year. For those who don't know, Vince works very, very hard with Camden County's radio station. They've been building up the last couple of years, did an excellent NFL draft program a couple of months ago. It'll be a walk to Rorick, but they're doing great things over there, building up their radio program. Vince, the wavelength's 93.7? No, I mean, is it just AM? Or am I crazy? It's FM 93 something? 91.5. Okay. I just listen to a lot of Sirius XM these days in my car. Channel 30. Well, my car doesn't come with it, but I kind of take advantage of the free periods that they do. They do like a week at a time every 2 months or so. During the holidays, they'll do a couple of free months or free weeks. There's a swing and a miss by Cizelka. So Rorick, after grounding into the double play, got the free pass. And gets a hanging curveball, grounds it to second. Vasquez goes for one, on to first, can't turn to double play. And it'll be a 4-6 fielder's choice by Cizelka. His third time around the order now for CHBR. So now the batter will be Jack Mastero. Runner on first. So Mastero versus Wolfson. Got a very distinct stance. Almost like Joey Votto did. Same thing, too. First baseman, left-handed. A very tall and lanky figure. You know, with a little bit of muscle mass, but enough to get the job done. This one's popped up over our heads and way over everybody's heads and out of play onto the other adjacent baseball field. The junior size field. One ball, one strike to Jack Mastero. Popped up third base side. This is the rare instance where I have to differentiate between the Mastero brothers, because in my work with Roadrunners TV at RCSJ, the Roadrunner Network, RJ is the only one there because Jack Mastero recently graduated from Gloucester Catholic. He's going to be a freshman. So I have never had to call a game with both brothers. Now, I believe he is still considered uncommitted at this point. So I'll hold my tongue about anything that I hear, but again, at this point in time, would be cool if he joined the Roadrunners, but I don't know that for sure. Inside. I got in trouble last year with, not with Gloucester Catholic, but with a Gloucester Catholic player, because I kind of said tongue-in-cheek about a player's MLB draft odds. And there's a swing and a miss. Jack Mastero goes down on strikes and the inning is over. His brother RJ tells him no, but he goes for it anyway. Swings it high and away, and CHBR leaves the runner on first. We go to the bottom half of the fifth. It's 4-3, CHBR. Bottom of the fifth inning. CHBR up by 1 run. We were talking about how this could be a high-scoring affair, but instead, it hasn't been so. I mean, 4-3 through 4.5 innings isn't low-scoring, but it's middle of the road. It's pedestrian. Roughriders took a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first with a sacrifice fly by Ian Murphy. CHBR tied it up in the top of the first with an RBI single. First pitch from Ebling. Ebling's the second pitcher of the night. He replaced Mark Grubb, who left the game with an apparent bicep injury in the bottom of the second inning. So Ebling came in, got as many warm-up pitches as he needed, and then turned the card over. And one misses low. But with that being said, Roughriders took a 3-1 lead in the second. And then in the top of the fourth, CHBR got all of those runs back, scoring 3. A lot of bases loaded station-to-station action. And they took the lead 4-3. That still holds here in the bottom of the fifth, playing 7 innings today. It would actually be the first Tri-County game this season on our plate to basically be guaranteed the full 7. We did have a threat of rain, but that has passed to our south and to our east. There was a bad line of rain that looks like it got pieces of Cumberland County and basically all of the Jersey Shore. And it looked like it was coming our way, but luckily it did not. Ebling, 2-strike pitch outside. It's Tronoski and then Vasquez and Watson. 9, 10, and 1 for the Roughriders. Roughriders, excuse me. I'm not from the South, nor have I ever been. 2-strike pitch, base hit in the left field. Tronoski gets it down. And the tying run is aboard as the catcher gets on. Now Vasquez has a chance to break even. Ebling versus Vasquez. Here's the pitch. Gets it off the handle of the bat. The throw to first is in time. Tronoski stumbles his way to second base. It'll be a 1-3 putout. Not the way that they wanted it, but Vasquez moves the runner over. Let's just say it's... Oh, they're going to put Danny Vasquez on second base to run for Tronoski. Makes sense. It's the logical choice. The courtesy runner rule is a little bit looser, especially with catchers. I mean, how many times I saw it one time where the catch. So there was a game that we were doing a couple weeks ago. It might have been high school. The catcher had his gear on, as most do. When you're in the on-deck circle with 2 outs as a catcher, you're kind of told to leave your leg protectors on, so that in case you don't bat, you don't have to go through the trouble of delaying the inning and delaying the game during the break. Well, how many times have I seen catchers wearing their leg gear and their knee pads and whatnot in the on-deck circle? They don't bat, and then there still is a delay getting them out to the field anyway. They've got the most gear of anybody. Strike called in the inside corner to Watson. Again, he's standing a lot closer to the back of the box. So it's a 2-1 count to Watson. He's got his former teammate, Danny Vasquez, on second, who now has a bit of a social media personality. Got a piece of it. Looks like they'll call it a foul ball. But Vasquez now works for the organization CS99 TV, which also has a CHBR product on there in John Schweitzer. They have over 3 million followers on TikTok and over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Vasquez is safe at third. Think he got under the tag. That was a very close call. I think his left foot might have gotten in there. And now that makes it even more likely that Jacob Watson could drive in his former teammate. Ebling versus Watson. Tying run for the Roughs on third. They will say it's low, and Watson walks for the second time tonight. Just below the knees. Here is Shea McKenna. Runners on the corners. This is where things get interesting. Grounded, third base side. Vasquez will come in. They won't have enough to turn a double play. They get the 1 out, and the game is tied, 4-4. So Vasquez scores. It's a 6-3 ground out. And McKenna, with the second out of the inning, scores the 4th run. And now here's Ian Murphy. So Tronoski, he singled. He was replaced, and then Vasquez grounded into a fielder's choice for the first out. And then we turn back up to the top of the order. Watson walked, again, his second of the day, and then Shea McKenna, 6-3 ground out, ties the game. It's his first RBI of the night. Murphy gets on top of it. It will roll. This could roll back fair, but the third baseman picked it up quickly, Davis. It's 0-1. I mean, look at the third base line. That could be another example of a ball rolling back into play. That happened with Nick Swisher one time. Happened with the Mariners, too, a lot in the 70s when they played on the Kingdome with the AstroTurf. The entire field was turf, infield included. So you could just lay down a bunt and it would roll. And I remember it was Mario Mendoza. I mean, not that I remember. I was born in 2005, not 1970. But I remember watching clips of Mario Mendoza, who, as a third baseman, would lay down, get on his hands and feet, lay down face first, and blow on the baseball. Just try to get the ball to go foul. That won't exactly work here. Whoa, that one skips high, takes a high ricochet off of the area between the home plate area and in front of Murphy and Suriani. Now moves Watson the go-ahead run to third. Your issue is, your stipulation, maybe a little bit of a caveat, is that there's 2 outs. That's the only difference. 1-1 is high. Excuse me, 3-1 this time. We're supposed to have 3 games with Tri-County next week. That'll be a free pass. Murphy has either reached base or contributed in his at-bat all 3 times. He had a sacrifice fly in the first, RBI double in the third, and then a walk in the fifth. Looks like Jake Otero is going to hit. Pops it straight up. Look out. This one is going to come back down, and Suriani makes the catch. I was preparing for a stinging foul ball, but the wind keeps it back on the field. And it keeps the runner on third base as well. Roughriders leave 2 on. Vasquez is the one that comes in to score, and Otero in a pinch hit at bat pops out. We are going to the 6th, 4-4.
And this is going to bring up Andrew Petrick, who has a single in this game. And here's a fly ball popped up right field side. And it's fair. It's fair. They're going to throw to second for try to get this play. The force out. They got him, but the game is tied. How about it for Woodstown? They complete the comeback to make it 8-8. So now there is one out after Kubat let it fall in right. And because the bases were loaded, you know what? That's a very smart play. Launches one foul. See, Mostero's doing us a service here. Or excuse me, D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro is doing us a service here. He's letting us have this conversation by having a long at-bat. But a lot of people are still caught up in the D1 or bust mentality. Listen to this crowd. Listen to this crowd. We'll talk about that later. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Clapping it up here for the Roadrunners. 2-2. Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! 3-run homer! D'Alessandro! And it's a 1-run game at the crack of the bat. 5-4. 3-run shot to center field. Trailing towards the right center, and the cleanup man does exactly what the position orders, cleaning up. And he does it incredibly well with a 5-4 game. He battles for 11 pitches.
Top of the 6th inning, we are tied up. CHBR and the Roughriders 4-4. Ground out to short, scored Danny Vasquez, which tied the game at 4 apiece. RJ Mostero is the first batter versus Wolfson. Strike called. Oh, 1. It skips away. Skipped behind Trinovsky that time. It's really a beautiful night here in Belmar. It's not hot. It's like a spring night almost. It is humid for sure, but that's also because it rained for the last 40 days and 40 nights. There's a strike called. Because we had Roughriders Grizzlies on Monday. We were supposed to go to Vineland. We went down to Vineland. We set everything up, but there were the most almost cartoonishly ominous clouds in Vineland. Had a massive storm that went foul. And then on Wednesday, we traveled up to Cinnaminson, and I kid you not, we drove about 35, 40 minutes to get from Pittman, DWB HQ, to Cinnaminson. I pull into the parking lot, get a text message, game is canceled. Now, to be fair, originally I was skeptical. I was confused as to why they wouldn't play when there was no rain in the sky. It wasn't currently raining. The field looked fine. But then, if you remember last night, it was probably around 8:30. It was supposed to be around 9. Now, you can get a full game. You can get an official game in 2 hours. Not a problem. 2 hours and 15 minutes. It was supposed to start at 9:15 yesterday. It was outside of Mostero. But then it kind of sped up a little bit. It started sprinkling at 8:15, and it was downright pouring by 8:30, to the point where we were getting tornado warnings and flash flood warnings. not exactly baseball weather. Strike 3. Mistero didn't like the call, and in the ambience of a summer night in the ballpark like this, it's very audible. 1 away. In a high school game, you might not hear that, but when you're behind the plate of a tri-county game with only a couple dozen people lining the fences, those ballpark tremors end up popping out more often than you think. Fouled back. Wolfson ready to go versus Braden Davis. Outside. 2-1. Popped straight up. This one is, actually, it's more than straight up. It's right behind us. We've got a full count. Wolfson versus Davis. Base is empty, 1 away after a Mistero strikeout looking. That's ball 4. So Davis walks, Suriani will bat. Turnage in the on-deck circle is now CHBR just a few minutes ago was defending a lead, and now they're trying to break a stalemate. I mean, if there's two teams that are perfect contenders for going into an extra innings dogfight, these two teams are probably two that are very used to it. It's a ground ball third base side. Nick Turnage does his best to drop and squat, and he ends up missing the baseball entirely. It's 0-1 on a foul ball down the third base line. Foul ball ricocheted off the fence, and it'll be tossed in to Bones Marciano. Looks like Cole Bauman and Evan Carbone just got back from warming up down the right field line. That one's cracked into left field. It's a base hit. It'll get Braden Davis over to second base. It'll be a single for Damon Suriani, who is now 3 for 3 this evening. And with that being said, they'll come out and they will take the ball from the right-hander Jack Wolfson. And indeed, Cole Bauman will come in, the right-hander donning number 49. We'll look to keep this game tied with 1 away in the top of the 6th inning. It's 4-4. We got a pitching change.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Nick Turnage was the batter. Cole Bauman is the new pitcher. The Haddonfield right-hander. Kicks and delivers from the stretch. That one's outside. CHBR with 2 runners on, including the go-ahead. Braden Davis on second. Damon Sirianni on first. They have not elected for the courtesy runner. They'll keep him on. But this is a very pivotal moment. Top of the 6th inning in a tie game. Double play would end the inning, but anything else would probably be beneficial outside of a strikeout. If you get the ball on the ground, you most likely move the runners over. If you get the ball in the air, you most likely move the runners over. Popped up. Right field. Schaefer is there. 2 away. Top of the 6th, 2 away, and the batter, Genove. Again, the Towson product, the Division I, just above Baltimore, Maryland. I've been to Towson's campus a few times on my way to a Baltimore Orioles game. You park at Timonium Fairgrounds, which is just above the Towson campus, and there are several stops on the Baltimore light rail, the MTA light rail. As Genove, left field. This one's playable, and it's caught. Inning over. Cole Bauman comes in and finished what Jack Wolfson started as he gets 2 flyouts to end the inning. Go to the bottom of the 6th, still a tie game, 4-4. CHBR and Roughriders all knotted up.
Will lead it off for the Senators. Chase Rollins, the player manager for CHP, gets it started with a ball upstairs, and we are underway in game 1. 1-0. That one is hit well out towards left, and it is gone off the top of the goalpost. Shane Adamski with a thunderous start to his playoff series. Second pitch of the game, a solo homer to left, and before I could even write the first name down in my scorecard, it's 1-0. Late switch for the visitors. Again inside their 5. Oh, they're going to pitch this one back for the flea flicker. Touchdown, West! Oh, my goodness! Taking inspiration from Nick Foles and Trey Burton. I think they just pulled off the Philly special. That is the greatest touchdown I have ever seen. Well, maybe not the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. Maybe that's stretching a little bit, but one of the greatest touchdowns we've seen in a long time. And it's a tie game.
Evan Carbone versus Frankie Ebling, bottom of the 6th inning. This one's outside. CHBR got 2 runners on, but 2 very clutch flyouts when Cole Bauman came in relief. Kept this game tied. Strike called. It's going to be 4, 5, and 6, it looks like. Or check that, 5, 6, and 7. Carbone, Schaefer, and Jack Murphy. All 3 at one time Rutgers-Camden teammates. In fact, this year, all Rutgers-Camden teammates. Counts 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Popped up, left field side. It'll be in play if he makes this catch, and he does. Pulls it within the line. And a catch in foul grounds retires Carbone. He's now 0 for 3. So here's Steve Schaefer. I mean, 750. The sun is setting, but I don't think somebody's hit the switch to turn on the lights yet. I think they'll need it. Unless they don't have the lights to turn things on here. I think the difference is that this is a lot more open air than Runnymede is. So it gets darker faster. Schaefer, center field. He's 3 for 3. He was 0 for 3 in his first Tri-County game this season. Now he follows it up with a 3 for 3 performance, 3 singles. A great night for Steve Schaefer. Again, the Rutgers Camden product, and now his teammate, Jack Murphy, the third baseman, has a chance to move him over, and he's got 2 stolen bases on his record tonight as well. He's going to go. Could this be number 3? He is safe. Ball skipped away from Rorick. Looked like a good throw, a very laser throw from Sirianni. It had a good angle and everything, had good zip on it, but Rorick just couldn't complete his end of the deal. Changeup up and in, misses to Murphy. Panvini on deck. Go-ahead run on second. Playing 7 innings tonight. Looks like it'll be, knock on wood, our first full Tri-County game of the season with 3 games lined up for next week to end the year. To end the regular season, that is. Popped up. Over is Thomas, and he'll make the catch. Murphy with a strikeout in the 4th inning. Panvini, the batter, he's got an 0-1 count after the foul ball. Murphy now 0 for 3 on the evening. Strike called. Panvini 0 for 2, but he does have a run, RBI. RBI, he's grounded out to short both times. Ground ball third base side, and it's foul. Again, if you're Braden Davis down there, you have to be almost expecting that ball to roll back fair, because it's almost like a valley, like a levee a little bit down the third base line. The first base line with the tall grass, you could argue that as well, with the grass down the first base line. Up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Go-ahead run on second base, and Steve Schaefer. 2-2 to Panvini. Pops this one up. It's hit pretty well, though, out to left field. It's caught, and the inning is over. 6 innings gone, and nobody has emerged as a victor. We could go to the 7th here and see how things turn out. The Roughriders won the first game of this head-to-head, and it would be the first tiebreaker if these 2 teams end up tying at the regular season's end. We go to the 7th, 4-4. top of the 7th inning here in Belmar. This game's getting pretty exciting. It's 4-4. Roughriders got the first bite in the bottom of the first inning. Sacrifice fly by Ian Murphy. CHBR tied it, and then Roughriders jumped out to a 3-1 lead. CHBR got all 3 of those runs back. Oh, and look out. That one is lodged up above. Yeah, there's a best angle we can get there. It's right there. That one misses. 1-1. You'll have to put, like, it's going to be a couple of men on stilts. Swing and a miss. One ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Bauman picks up his first strikeout of the night. And it comes at the hands of Dawson. And it's the bottom 3 in the order for CHBR. Dawson, Carroll, and Rorick here in the 7th. It's late by Carroll that time. 0-1. Swing and a miss again. 2 pitches in pretty close spots that time. Carroll offered at both of them. Carroll 0 for 2 tonight. He stays alive, staving that one off. Carroll reached on an error in the 3rd and struck out swinging in the 5th. Again, tied up 4-4, an RBI ground out in the bottom of the 5th inning by Shea McKenna. Plated the 4th run for the Roughriders, and that's where we are right now, 4-4 in the top of the 7th. 1 down. Carroll lifts the ball to right field. This one's up, it's back, it's over the head of Schaefer. He plays it off the bottom of the wall, and Thomas Carroll in the 9 slot in the order for CHBR makes the blue and teal, or makes the red and teal proud with a double to right. And now John Rorick is the batter. That was a good piece of hitting right there. I mean, that's one of those things where we like to call elevate and celebrate. He didn't get a home run, but he got a double. He kind of put everything he had into that swing, and it was almost like one of those flailing lefty swings that we see a lot. And it's definitely it's a more modern phenomenon of baseball, and we like to see it. Like to see those kind of swings where he just puts a drive into a ball. And sometimes you have to think outside of the box to do that, but you got a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. Line drive. It's in the center field. Carroll's at 3rd. Marciano puts on a hard stop sign. That's a tough pill to swallow, but he probably would have been out. And now, Carroll's single, check that, Carroll's double, Rorick's single, prompts a meeting with Trinosky, Vasquez, and in fact the entire Roughriders infield, as Nick Sazelka, who's 0 for 3, will be the batter. He's flown out to right in the 1st, a 5-3 ground out in the 3rd, and a 4-6 fielder's choice in the 5th. So now his task, with 1 away, again, Dawson struck out swinging, but then Carroll, who was down 0-2 in the count, just put a drive into a ball and doubled over Schaefer's head. And then Rorick singled back up the middle, and again, Marciano put on that stop sign. If he would have let him go, I think he would have had a close play, but listen, I mean, in this situation, in a 7th inning tie game, have Sazelka bat, and then if not, Jack Mostero's next. If I'm Marciano, I mean, I'm holding my breath, but I'm not thinking negatively about the situation. I'm not thinking about what can go wrong. I'm thinking about what can go right with your leadoff guys in the order. Now facing the right-hander, the young right-hander, Bauman. Swing and a miss. Here comes the throw down to second. It is cut off by Vasquez. I think they were anticipating a steal and score, just like we saw on Monday night. I'm a little bit surprised that they still haven't turned on the lights, because we've done plenty of Belmar Rec games during the nighttime hours. There's a line drive. It's a fair ball, right field side. That will bring home a run for Nick Cizelka. Here comes John Rorick. He is safe into second base. The throw gets away into left field. Now the runner's going to go to third. Do they have a play? He is going to get away. 3 bases, 2 runs, and CHBR takes the lead on a circus play by Nick Cizelka, 6-4. And this would split the head-to-head if CHBR wins this. And, well, they'll still have the bottom of the 7th to work with, but what an incredible, incredible piece of hitting there. Cizelka, by the skin of his teeth, keeps it fair down the right field line. That's going to be scored as a 2-run double with an error added after the play on an E9. So now it's Mistero. He's 1 for 3, single and 2 Ks for him today. And now he's got a chance to really extend the CHBR lead. I mean, it's 8:02. I am a little bit surprised. I don't know if they're on a timer. I mean, you can't imagine that they would have been playing at Belmar Rec if they knew that they couldn't use the lights. I'm getting flashbacks to Monday. Because what did we see with the last time the Roughriders were in a darkness-affected game? They scored 6 runs. Now, in this case, if the inning ends, without CHBR scoring, they would only need 3. But that memory from Monday is going to live for a long time. It skips in front of the plate that time. Skipped off the plate for Bauman. Got a 2-2 count. He'll be followed by his brother, RJ Mistero. Line out to third base in the first. A walk in the fourth and a strikeout in the sixth. 0 for 2. That one skips low. Dronosky hangs onto it, and the runner wisely holds it third. The ball didn't skip away too much, and most certainly not enough for the third base runner Cizelka to even consider running. Three balls, 2 strikes to Mistero. Third strikeout for him tonight. Second strikeout where he wavers at a fastball up and away. That looked almost identical to how he struck out his last time. And now here's RJ Mistero. And if you remember his last at-bat, he struck out, didn't take too kindly to the strike 3 call. Outside. And I would say in some cases it doesn't buy you any favors. But again, he's got a walk, looping curveball that time. A walk, a line out, and a strikeout. Not in that order. Could have gotten a run home in the first, but again, that scorching line drive the third ended the inning. Oh, he might have broken that bat. It's a ground ball to third. Throw to first is in time. He carries the bat with him, and CHBR gets the job done because of that man right there, Nick Cizelka. A 2-run double down the right field line. He advances to third on an error. And going to the bottom of the 7th, it's CHBR 6. There you go. I was waiting to see if he would break it over his knee or if he would try to pull a Bo Jackson. But we go to the bottom of the 7th, 6-4 CHBR. Well, we've got a side armor looking to retire the side in the bottom of the 7th for CHBR. It is Dylan Turwood. The coach told me how to say the name, and I've already stumbled over it. It is Turlinger out of UMass Amherst, home of the Minutemen. He's got a 6-4 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning, looking to pick up the save. So Turlinger, first appearance of the season for the right-hander. In fact, he doesn't even have a CHBR jersey yet. As Tronosky is the first batter, Vasquez to follow, and then Watson. 9, 10, and 1. It is kind of a big shift to see a sidearm pitcher out here, usually because we don't see too many of them, but they are, I mean, if they're not going to turn on the lights unless they have to, they're running out of time. I mean, we can still see everything good right now, but you can probably only rely on that for another 15 minutes or so. I'm just confused that right around 8:15, I mean, I guess because it's sunny out tonight instead of overcast, you have a little bit more time added to your card. That's a line drive! Oh my goodness! Incredible play, Braden Davis! Third base line, spearing the swing by Tronosky. That was next level. And Braden Davis gets up and after it for the first out in the bottom of the 7th. Now here's Danny Vasquez. He is 0 for 1, has a fly out and a fielder's choice. He did score in the bottom of the 5th inning to tie the game 4-4. And the 0-1 from Turblinger. I'll learn his name eventually. Bones told me how to say it, the assistant coach told me how to say it, and then I immediately forgot it. We were saying during the break, I don't think you'll ever see a sidearm pitcher with the name Smith or Jones. A funky pitcher's got to have a funky-to-say last name. There's a strike called 1 and 2. Dan Quisenberry, Dennis Eckersley, Chad Bradford, Darren O'Day. One ball, 2 strikes. To the Rutgers Camden grad and second baseman in the 10 slot, Vasquez grounds it to his own position. Rorick is there, 2 away. Well, this really could set up a big change in the Tri-County North Division because the Roughriders won the first end of this matchup this season series 7-5, with both teams in this division playing twice, 1 home and 1 away. And with 2 outs here in the 7th, you think about CHBR winning and tying this season series at 1-1. They're both tied, but then CHBR would get those 2 points they need and take direct control of first place in the North Division. Now, the Grizzlies are just one half point behind. Both of these teams are tied at 19 points with an identical record of 7-4-1 going into tonight's contest. But the final week of the regular season could produce some real doozies. Even with everybody making the playoffs, spoilers still could exist. And they still do. You think about teams that, you know, in a system where every team makes the playoffs, I think it definitely comes up that we think about how that's applied and how we're going to get, you know, kind of into the system with a little bit of force. If you're a 7 seed playing a 3 seed, yeah, you want to win one of those games. It's a 3-game series. You know, kind of let them have it a little bit. However, Turlinger in a little bit of trouble here. He's got a 3-0 count, and he will... Oh, that hit off of the umpire's mask. Just like Monday. And it's a free pass to Watson. Watson's been very lucky with his free passes. He's had 3 of them today. I'm still confused why the lights haven't turned on. Now, we were here in a game in April of 2024 between Delsey and Notre Dame in the Thank You Classic, Notre Dame High School in New Jersey in Mercer County. And this exact light pole down the first base line had a couple of lights go out with an electrical short, and the game was called in the 5th inning. 8-0 was the final in favor of Delsey. Now, on the contrary of that, they could have said, we could play, but probably not good to do so in potentially dangerous conditions in an 8-0 game. If it was like 2-2, tie game, whatever, but that light pole had maybe half of the lights go out, and we did go down the first base line, and it was pretty dark, so. But right here, back home, we've got an 8:12 time on the East Coast. I know we have some folks from other time zones tuning in, sometimes at least. Family members, friends of the player. Maybe some CS99 folks are watching Danny Vasquez, but got a 1-1. Ground ball, this could do it. No worries about the darkness. Rorick throws. It is in time. And third base, CHBR has sole possession of first place in the North. They take home a 6-4 win as Nick Sazelka gets a 2-run double down the right field line and sends the Roughriders packing with a 6-4 final. A ground ball by Shea McKenna was the final dagger. And in a 7th inning marathon, total game time of 2 hours and 3 minutes, third basemen are on top. They take the first place lead in the in the North, and they have a chance, depending on the other tiebreakers, to potentially get even further ahead. Again, the Grizzlies are only a half point back tonight on this Thursday evening, July 10th. They're playing the Pine Barrens. So when we have a result of that game, we'll let you know. But we'll come back for the player of the game interview in just a moment. CHBR 4. Check that. CHBR 6. Roughriders 4. We'll be right back. Here at Belmar Rec, we've got our player of the game presented by DAWG Pro Wrestling, the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. Nick Cizelka, two-run double down the right field line in the top of the 7th inning to break the tie and give CHBR the win and the lead in the North Division. How'd you feel out there today?
Pretty good. Well, before that at bat, not great at all. Kept missing pitches right down the middle inside, but I found a pitch to hit 0-2 and pulled it. Got jammed, but it worked out.
That might be the first time ever in DWB history where we've said somebody didn't feel great. But, 0 for 3, it's never something that you want to have, but you overcame it. And that's one of the reasons why we chose you today, because there's a lot of players who will have an 0 for 3 night, especially in a summer league. In high school, maybe you'll overcome it more often, but in a summer league, people can they can be a little bit more lazy. You were not lazy. You drove it down the right field line, got those 2 runs home, and against a team that CHBR lost to the first time around, 7-5 to the Roughriders. You guys came back and got the win tonight. How does this win, make you guys feel about the final regular season week going ahead? Because a lot of rainouts this year. It's not going to be easy, and going into the playoffs, having a divisional win behind you could go a long way.
Pretty good. Bones had a big talk with us before this game. He wasn't happy with the way we've been playing. So we knew we needed this one to get up on top. So this was a big win for us. It's
been a very close race in the North Division. The Grizzlies, the Roughriders, and you guys at CHBR were all separated by half a point. And in this game, the Roughriders and CHBR were all tied. So having that advantage will help. And how do you and your team feel going into the final week of the regular season?
I think we feel pretty good. We're starting to heat up a little bit more. Just getting lackadaisical towards the end of the game. But once we fix that, we're going to be a tough team to beat.
And in the Tri-County, it's all about fixing your mistakes and making sure that you play good when it matters most. Nick, thank you very much for your time. Have a good night. We will hopefully see CHBR next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. All right, that's our player of the game for this evening, Nick Cizelka. Went at 1 for 4, but had a 2-run double in the top of the 7th inning to close things out here this evening. That'll be all for us here tonight on DWB. From our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Carson Rosso, my producer, Vincent Vogt. I'm Dan Wilkins. We will hopefully see you on Monday. Should be a good matchup over in Pittman at Alcyon Park, but otherwise, that'll be all for us tonight. CHBR takes down the Roughriders in a direct battle for the leadership of the North Division, 6-4, the final, with Nick Cizelka getting the 2-run double in the top of the 7th. That'll be all. Have a good one, folks.